stolen land. We were still tortured and abused and nobody was held accountable. We were still forced to work. Capitalism is still here. Slavery is still here. It's all just, I want this to sink in your soul that this system has to go. We need to abolish it. Defund police. Hashtag defund police. It's working. Minneapolis School District has pulled out and canceled their contract with Minneapolis PD. The university did the same thing. Let's get our folks to do the same shit. They just brutalized us in the Trader Joe's parking lot. Tell Trader Joe's they better say some shit. Tell Trader Joe's they better condemn that shit and they stand with the people if they want our fucking money. And I'm not just talking about black folks' money. I'm talking about all y'all motherfuckers. Tag Trader Joe's and that shit in those videos and tell them that was on your fucking property. They came in your private parking lot and pinned us in and brutalized us. Speak out on that shit. I'm telling y'all, we can organize and we can do this. We actually can. It is within reach. It is within reach. Chica said they told us that Trader Joe's was no longer public. What the fuck does that mean? They're such bullshit. They kept saying this in unlawful assembly. No. We have every right. We have every right. We pay taxes for this shit. That's our shit. Y'all are an unlawful assembly. Y'all are an unlawful fucking assembly. Y'all are coming up here to unarmed protesters, armed with masks for COVID-19. Unarmed protesters with riot gear, face shields, bulletproof vests, compartments. Nobody knows what the fuck is in there. I can imagine though. Extra clips and who knows, grenades. I don't know what the fuck they had, you know. Then guns. A gun on their hip, multiple guns. A gun on their hip, rubber bullet guns, batons. They had all these weapons because they're fucking cowards. And Malcolm X said that. Ain't shit changed. They're fucking cowards. That's why they gang up on us like that. If you can see what they were doing with these batons that they had, and these rubber bullet guns, was they were ganging up on people. And then they brought out, thank you, Aaron. They brought out the tear gas. They brought out, they're calling in the National Guard in places. They're calling it. I'm just like, the president, and I hate the coverage on this shit. Stop saying, who was that? Anderson Cooper? Who the fuck said that? One of these people were talking about it and I was listening. They were like, he quoted a police chief from the 60s. No, he was a fucking white supremacist. He was a fucking white supremacist who was an enemy to the civil rights movement. Walter, whatever the fuck his name is. Walter, whatever the fuck his name is. He was a police chief. He quoted a police chief who said the same thing. When the looting starts, the shooting starts. He said the same thing about black protesters during the civil rights movement who were protesting. He called for violence against those protesters, talked about targeting those black protesters. And we're out there fighting and honoring George Floyd's life for our kids, for our folks, and Breonna Taylor and all these folks. And he's calling, he quotes that white supremacist. Not like in the past he hasn't stood with white supremacists, failed to denounce the KKK, said that there were very fine people on both sides, called for the death sentence for 5 innocent black and brown kids in New York, with an ad in the New York Times and other newspapers. It's not like he hasn't lined up all of the evidence for it. But then he does this, calls for shooting, mass killing of folks, of protesters in Minneapolis. And y'all are waiting Not everybody.